Hello everyone. So we are LemonVapes, and this is our first review video of many to come. So I'm Tommy, and this is Alex.
What's up?
And we are here to review some juices for our first video. Alex has been vaping for about 4 months now on 0 milligrams of nicotine, just for a hobby, and I have been vaping for 2 years, and I vape on 12 milligrams. I used to smoke a while ago, and like I said, about 2 years ago I got off smoking onto vaping. So without further ado, let's continue with the video. Just before we start reviewing any of these products, we'd like to say that we bought all of these at PinkSpot, which is a LA-based company. They have a few stores around LA. And yeah, so if you want to pick up a few batteries, juices, whatever you really need, you just go here and they will definitely be really nice to you and give you what you need. So today we have 6 juices to review. We have PinkSpot vapors, and these are some flavors that we just picked up because they were supposedly the most popular at the PinkSpot. So yeah, so let's continue on with these videos.
All of these juices are 12 have a 12 nicotine strength, except for Black Mamba, and yeah, we've pretty much tried every one of these juices so far, and all of them have a great taste. And let's get started.
All right, so first we will start with Sub-Zero. So Sub-Zero is a sweet menthol, as described by PinkSpot, and this one is in 12 milligrams, so we will start off with that one. Our reviews are not going to be opinion-based, or try not to be opinion-based as much as possible. We're going to be talking about, actually, this tank doesn't work on my battery. We're going to be talking about how closely the flavors match what the description is. So this is sweet menthol. Alright, so basically I do get the menthol off of it, obviously. Currently, actually, before I give my opinions, we are vaping all of these except for this one on CE4 disposable tanks, which have never been used before. We didn't alter the coils at all, and this flavor, which we will get to later, is being vaped on a ProTank 2 tank with an EVIC battery, just because we didn't have another CE4 lying around. So yeah, I get the menthol. It definitely produces enough vapor, not the most I've seen. I don't know if that's because of the tank, but it is a PG-VG mix, as I recall. There are a few flavors here that do produce more vapor, but the throat hit isn't as strong as I usually go for. And yeah, what are your opinions on it?
Well, being a non-smoker, having tried menthol flavor, I get that menthol flavor. It's exactly how it's described, and I accidentally did inhale it into my throat. Luckily for me, I didn't cough, but yeah, I did feel that hit, and you know, I guess I could say it's strong for me.
Right. So based on the description on the website, regarding flavor, I do give it a 9 out of 10. Because it is very close. I think that there could be a bit more menthol in there. And for throat hit, I would say probably a 7 out of 10. Just because I usually like more throat hit, and all the other flavors that I usually try have more of a throat hit for the flavors. The menthol, usually when there's menthol flavors and you have nicotine in them, it draws away from the throat hit because of that extra cooling feeling in your throat, so you don't really feel it as much. So I don't know if they could really do anything to improve that, but it is a really good flavor. overall, I would have to say I give it an 8 out of 10. So yeah, that is Sub-Zero. So next up is a tobacco flavor called honey cured tobacco. And I know for most tobacco flavors, what they do is they soak tobacco in the liquids in order to get the flavor of actual tobacco, not what it tastes like when you smoke a cigarette. So if you're interested in tobacco flavors, you're not going to find many that taste like an actual cigarette. You're going to find a lot that taste like the smell of a cigarette. So, and also when it comes to tobacco flavors, I don't suggest that you start off vaping with tobacco flavored e-juice, just purely because most people, when they first go into vaping, they're looking for cigarette flavored e-liquids, and that's usually a bad way to go about it because you're not going to find it, and that leads people to go back to smoking cigarettes sometimes. So I recommend getting a few of the fruitier flavors or more, caramel, chocolate, something like that to get you off of it, and then go back to the tobacco flavored e-juices to get you onto it. What are your opinions?
Well, as soon as it hits in your mouth, you get this flavor of honey, which basically stated in the title. But you also get that tobacco flavor, and when I have it, it reminds me of, pipe tobacco with a hint of honey. Pretty much the description itself. You get that hit, it feels nice, I get a cooling sensation, and I like it.
Yeah, I mean, the throat hit is definitely better on this than it is on Sub-Zero, probably just because of the menthol. And actually, I stated this earlier, because all these flavors we have tried a little before this video, just to see how they were so we could give our best opinion on them. But I was telling Alex a few minutes before we recorded this that I think that Sub-Zero and honey cured tobacco would actually go pretty well together because they're both subtly sweet, and I've never actually tried a menthol with a tobacco, and I think that would be really interesting. The vapor quality is pretty good. I think this is a stronger PG, probably just because that's usually what happens, because when you have a strong PG liquid, it produces more of a throat hit, less vapor. Strong VG liquid produces more vapor, less of a throat hit. And usually with menthol flavors, it's more VG, so you get that vapor and that menthol flavor. But yeah, so the throat hit is stronger on this one, and it definitely does remind me of the smell and taste. If I was to taste the cigarette, dry puff before you smoke it, it definitely does remind me of a cigarette, and regarding that, not smoking it. So yeah, I really do enjoy this flavor, and it's definitely one of my favorite flavors from PinkSpot, and I really do enjoy it.
Alright, well, the next one is Black Mamba by PinkSpot, of course, and it is a black cherry type flavor. And, I've been, as soon as we got this, I was interested, of course, because it was the only one that was at a 0 nicotine level. But it just sounded interesting. One, I'm not a Kobe Bryant fan, so it doesn't matter. But, nonetheless, I tried it, and I really enjoyed it. Vape on it right now.
Yeah, so as he said, this is a cherry flavor. It's one of the fruit flavors that they carry, and this is the only one we have that's in 0 nicotine. So what Alex normally does is he usually just does a mouth hit, which means you don't inhale it into your lungs because nicotine's pretty strong for people who don't normally use it. So he's actually doing a straight to lung hit right now. So you get to see a better representation of what the vapor's like. So yeah, I mean, this is it's a really interesting name for a flavor, because the thing about some of these companies is they name the flavors after people or after just things that have absolutely nothing to do with the flavor. But this is a really good flavor in my opinion. So
I spent last night at a party, that's why I kind of look bad, but And the entire time waiting in line to get inside, I was vaping on this, and it kept on getting better and better and growing on me through the entire time of waiting. And I had a few people that wanted to just try it, this social type thing. So they had it and they liked the flavor. I told them the name, where they could get it, and went from there. And it's a great flavor, and it goes well as a mixture flavor too. Pretty much anything fruity can go well as a mixture flavor. That's my general opinion.
It definitely has a lot of vapor, and that's probably also because I'm doing long hits as well, and I don't normally do long hits with nicotine flavored juices, or nicotine juices in that regard, just because it's too strong for me to do long hits sometimes. Alright, so we are back. The video stopped recording, and what we are going to do is we are going to start the review again. So we just reviewed Black Mamba, and now we are on to Swagger. So, reason why it's in a bigger battery and bigger tank than all the other flavors is, one, we don't have any more CE4 cartomizers or atomizers tanks, and also because this is one of my all-time favorite vapes. I've been using this flavor for a good solid 5 months, and I go through about one of these, like one tank's worth of juice in a day, maybe it takes me a little more than a day, and I am a really heavy vapor, and I usually go through half of another tank of a different flavor as well that day. So this is definitely one of my favorite flavors. One thing to keep in mind about this flavor and all other juices like it is it's very dark. I don't know if you can see that, but it is a very dark juice. And the thing about dark juices is they have a tendency to clog up the wicks, and what happens is when you clog up the wicks, the juice has trouble getting into the atomizer and you get a lot of burnt flavors. So what you need to keep in mind with these juices is that you need to, every time you want to refill this, with whatever tank you have, anytime you want to refill it, whether it's with Swagger or another flavor, you're going to want to completely wash out the tank after you're done vaping through it, and get a towel and just press down on the atomizer so it gets rid of all the juice around it. Because the old juice is going to be at the bottom since it's heavier, because you've been vaping it, and it's going to clog up the atomizer. So that's what you need to keep in mind when vaping this. Anyway, while I'm vaping on this for a minute or so, Alex is going to give a bit of a description on it.
Yeah. So, when I try it, I get this caramel coffee taste in my mouth. And unfortunately, again, I still had the luck of taking a throat hit. Just so used to doing non-nicotine ones. And the hit is pretty strong, and even for someone that doesn't even know what nicotine really is. But yeah, I like the flavor a lot, and it doesn't get old. It really doesn't. It's just something you can vape on for hours on end. I mean, hell, I'd probably vape on it. I just don't buy the flavor. But overall, I like it. It's as accurate as the name is, even though the name is just Swagger. You feel like it's so much swag. And yeah, I just made an ass of myself. But it's a really good flavor overall. I like it, and actually, I think I'm gonna buy some.
Yeah, so it's sort of a I don't want to say biased, that's not the word I'm going for. It's just a weird review for this flavor just because it's in a different tank and there's a bit of a different, because every tank produces different amounts of vapor. It's not just the juices that determine what the vapor is going to be like. But this flavor definitely, it's really unique, and I've been using it for so long that I go into PinkSpot and I say, do you have any other flavors that are similar to this, because I'm so in tune with the flavor that I taste that after like 2 days, it starts to taste a bit different. And to most people, you won't realize that, but just because the atomizer is starting to go down a bit, because I've been using it for so long, the flavor just starts to change a bit, and I'm not a huge fan of that. So I've been wanting to find another flavor so I can go on and off. and I literally cannot find another flavor. I've gone to VaporSpot like 3 times with the mindset of finding another flavor
This week.
that's similar to this. Yeah, Alex has gone with me, and I cannot find any flavor that tastes remotely similar to this. And it is literally like the most unique flavor that I've ever tasted, and one of my favorite. You can literally do this at any point in the day. There's no specific time, like after dinner or anything. Like, anytime you want to, it literally is one of my favorite flavors, and you can just do it whenever you want. But let's get on to the actual review of the flavor. So, enough of my opinion, you don't want to hear that. So, throat hit. Throat hit on this is just where I want it to be. I have a few 12 milligram flavors that are too strong for me. Maybe that's just a bad batch, I don't know. But this flavor has the correct throat hit for me. It definitely has a lot of vapor. I'm not sure, but I think it's a 50-50 blend of PG, VG. And yeah, so that's my opinion on it. I would personally give the vapor a 8 out of 10. It's not the best vapor I've seen, but that's also probably because of the tank somewhat. It is part of the juice as well, but that's because it has some PG in it. If it was 100% VG, throat hit wouldn't be as good, but it would have huge amounts of vapor. So yeah, do you have ratings for this flavor?
Flavor? 10 out of 10. I love it. Vapor, I'd probably agree with you, 8 out of 10. I mean, if you watch it as he vapes on it, the vapor isn't as strong as most things that you would have. I mean, it's a good amount, but it's not as great. I'm sure, just like Tommy said, I'm sure it's just different tanks, different vapes. But, yeah, I have to say, it's probably one of the better flavors that they have.
Yeah, it's definitely my favorite flavor that I've been vaping on. It's usually, when you ask me what flavors I'm vaping on at any given point, it's Swagger and insert other flavor here. It's always Swagger and something. It's never this and this. It's always Swagger and some other flavor. It's never any other flavor. So this next one we're going to be reviewing is Gummy Bear. And I was really interested in this because when we went to VaporSpot, the guy who was helping us out told us that it had a sort of a gummy flavor to it, and I didn't exactly understand what he meant. So when we tested these before this video, it was pretty accurate. Like, there is that gummy feeling, and I don't really know how to describe it. It's sort of like, you know, actually tasting a gummy bear.
When you bite into it, like a Haribo gummy bear, the red one. It's
Haribo.
Candy. Either way, I'm going to eat it. You bite into those gummy bears, the red one, and you get that juicy, I don't know how I would describe it, like flavor of strawberry, whether it's the strawberry one, or I'm guessing it's a watermelon one. Hell, I don't know. I haven't had that in years. But you get that gooey flavor, and that's the flavor that comes out with this one. It's so great, and the coloring of it is as accurate as you can probably get. I don't know if you can see. It's red. Yeah, red as if it was a gummy bear, a melted gummy bear, and it's great. The vaping on it is pretty good for something that has a nicotine in it, for me at least, and the flavoring is spot on. Throat hit is there. It's strong. Of course, I'm going to say anything is strong has a throat hit, but overall, I love this flavor.
Right. It definitely, of all the flavors that are in the CE4 tanks, I can't really talk about Swagger because it's not in that tank, obviously, but of all the flavors that are here, the other 5, it definitely has the best vapor. It has a pretty decent throat hit. I would give the throat hit a 7 out of 10, just because there are some that are stronger, and there's a bunch of different factors that go into that. What types of flavors you're using sometimes cancel it out, how much PG, how much VG, as I said before. But yeah, I do like this flavor. And it actually doesn't remind me of a single flavor of gummy bears. It reminds me, if you open up a packet of gummy bears and you just smell the flavor of all the gummy bears, that's what this tastes like. It tastes,
I can get that.
Yeah, it doesn't taste like a single flavor. It tastes like the smell of a gummy bear bag.
If you were to eat the gummy bears in the bag, with the bag, that's what it would taste like.
Yes, with the bag. You would have to eat the bag as well in order to get this flavor. So, you know, without getting any plastic into your body, this is a great alternative. So, yeah, that's what I would say about this flavor.
Plastic, yeah.
Alright, so the last flavor that we're going to be reviewing is Riptide.
This is, the coloring of it is that of an icy that you would get at a movie theater. Here, I'll let you vape on this first.
Yeah, it is.
Your thing.
You can show them the coloring of this. It's blue. Dark blue. It's straight up blue. It's as blue as the gummy bear is red. It's like really dark blue, and I've never
it's red.
I really do like these colorings. Like I don't know what goes into making these different colors of liquid. I don't know if it has to do with the flavoring or if they just add the color to show what the flavor is like. But
yeah, you know, like most of these flavors have colors that kind of describe the flavor itself. I mean, Swagger is brown. It looks it makes me think of pressed coffee, whether it's dark or not. It has that that look. Black Mamba is clear, which doesn't make any sense because last time I checked, Kobe Bryant is a black basketball player. So I will give it
racism intended.
Honey Cured Tobacco, it kind of makes sense to me. It's a peach color, you know.
Yeah, most tobacco flavors are that color, even maybe a bit darker.
And Sub-Zero is a more intense, I guess you would say, peach. On the color spectrum, it's more closer to skin color of peach than it is to an actual peach, if that makes any sense to you. I'll give you a little close-up.
Yeah, but giving you just an idea about what they describe the flavor of Riptide, it's considered a blue raspberry menthol berry mix, and
I think it's insane.
It's actually pretty accurate because there's only one problem I have with this flavor, and I don't know if you get this, but it sort of tastes artificial to me, just a bit. Like it has a weird aftertaste, and personally I don't really mind that much. I know there are a lot of people who will. And another one of the things about Throat Hit
I see that.
is it is a menthol flavor, which means that the Throat Hit isn't going to seem as strong as it actually is. So,
okay, so hold on. Yeah.
Alright, so one of the downsides of starting out a review channel is you don't have a lot of equipment for reviewing. So right now we are using my DSLR to record this, so it's not really meant for video recording, and it just stops automatically. I tried fixing it and it's lasting for longer, but I'm not exactly sure as to why it's just stopping automatically. So we were reviewing Riptide, and just to go back to what I started saying I didn't get to finish, is that it is it tastes a bit artificial. And one of the things about the Throat Hit is it has menthol in it, so the Throat Hit isn't going to seem as strong. So if you're going for a flavor that has a lot of Throat Hit and a lot of robustness behind it regarding Throat Hit, it's definitely not the flavor you're going to go for. But it is a really good tasting flavor. I really do enjoy it. I wouldn't use it all the time just because it's not really a flavor that I like personally, but it's definitely matches the description on point. There's really no, room to disagree with it. So if you're interested in black raspberry menthol, or blue raspberry menthol, sorry, or if you like ices, if you like movies, basically, and you get ices.
If you don't like movies, you aren't American.
Yeah, if you don't like movies, then, that's, whatever.
It tastes like an icy, and you feel the menthol, but the aftertaste is that of right when you finish with a blue Jolly Rancher, the blue raspberry one. It has that aftertaste. It's so weird, and it's good. It seems like a great flavor to be mixed with something else, maybe along the lines of Gummy Bear or Black Mamba, but by itself, I can see myself vaping it maybe once in a while. Just, change the flavor up every now and then. Yeah,
this is actually one of the other flavors. I've used Sub-Zero, Riptide, Swagger, and Cherry Limeade before this review, like months ago, like off and on. And with Riptide, I love it. It's a really good flavor. It matches it. It's just not for me. It's not a flavor that I enjoy, but it is on point. Like I said, if you like that type of flavor, definitely go out and get it. It is one of the better flavors that they have. Like, they have really good flavors and all of that. But yeah, so I would give that flavor Throat Hit, again, 7, maybe 6.5 out of 10, just because it doesn't have that strong of a throat hit.
I'm with you there.
Vapor, it's not that strong. I would have to say a 7 out of 10 for that too.
Same here.
Overall, I would say it's about a 7 out of 10. So,
what about flavor?
Flavor is actually, yeah, I would actually, sorry, I forgot about flavor.
I would give it an 8.
8, yeah, that's what I would give it.
It has a good lasting flavor, and it's something unique that you don't generally come across. So, it's a fun flavor to use. It's just not something I could see myself vaping on days on end.
The only reason why I wouldn't give it a 9 or a 10 out of 10 is because of that aftertaste. That's the only issue I have with it. Like, I mean, I'm not basing the reviews on how I like the flavors. I'm basing it on how it actually tastes in comparison to what they call it. But based on what they call it, it's pretty accurate except for that aftertaste. It's a really big down point. But yeah, so
they should call it blue raspberry artificial food.
Yeah, it's basically like artificial flavoring blue raspberry. And honestly, like, if you're American, that's basically what we have. So we don't have anything that's real. But there's definitely nothing wrong with that because it tastes better than real blue raspberries.
Let's go GMOs, yeah.
No politics, avoid here. So yeah, that concludes this review. So I really hope you did enjoy this. We have many more reviews coming up. Right here, this is what I've been using. I don't know if you can see it. I've been using this for a while. It is a iTaste MVP version 1 with an Aspire Nautilus tank on it with adjustable airflow. And I'm going to be reviewing these individually. And also the juice in here I'm going to be reviewing. I'm not going to tell you what it is right now. It's
my heart.
It's a really good flavor.
My heart.
I'm not going to be telling you what it is because we're going to be reviewing a bunch of the flavors from this company soon to come.
And for me, I'm vaping on basically everything Kanger. I got the Kanger ProTech Mini, and I just got a regular Kanger battery on here too. And you know, something for a guy that just vapes for fun, it was a good cheap setup. I can't complain. Overall, it's great for what I use. I love it. I mean, my friend has the same type of tank, and he likes it too. So, yeah, I mean, I have nothing bad to say about it. And we'll be doing a review on this and many other things. Stick around. LemonVapes is coming. We're going strong.
Yeah, so this is LemonVapes, and we will catch you next time.